embracing new instant platforms. It seems totally irrelevant with blockchain, but actually, first of all, we are a tool in the gaming industry, so also in the blockchain gaming industry. And secondly, it's a secret, but I think at the end you will grab some ideas. Some ideas could be took away. You will see. Okay. First of all, interest question: what's instant platforms? Who knows that? We all know Facebook instant games, but who has played WeChat minigame? Can you raise your hand? Ever play WeChat minigame? No, just some. Oh, okay, you are from China, I think. Let me start. We have WeChat minigame, Facebook instant game, but also Google has just announced a new cloud gaming platform, Stadia. That is also an instant platform. Why is that? Instant platform just means that you click and play the game instantly. You open the game, you don't need to download and install it. You just open the game and play it. So that's a gaming-changing trend. I think that also will help blockchain industry. So I forget to introduce myself. I am Huabin, and I am the technical director of Cocos2d-x. This is the main content of my talk. First of all, I will give you a brief introduction about Cocos2d-x. Then how we do cross-platform and the underlying architecture. Secondly, what is WeChat minigame and how it looks like, why it's leading a trend. And the last one is opportunity from a technical view about how instant game platforms can change the game. So first of all, a brief introduction to Cocos2d-x. If you don't know, Cocos family currently is two-part mainly. Cocos2d-x is for high-performance native games for C++ developers, and you can control everything in your game, including the engine itself. It's totally open sourced. And Cocos2d-x is a cross-platform game engine, which supports all instant platforms. And it supports fast iteration based on entity component architecture. It's for developers and designers because we have an editor. This is the look of our editor. In one phrase, Cocos2d-x is a visualized game creation tool based on entity component model, and it's very intuitive to use and supports all kinds of mobile games, mobile platforms. Let's have a little look about it. It's our adaptive UI. Sorry about the subtitle. I will explain it. Actually, it's nothing. There's nothing to explain. It's just that we can do adaptive UI with our layout component, and it just fits in all sort of screens. This is a percentage distance in the UI layout, and also for percentage. Yeah. Okay. I don't have many time, so I won't go through all the whole part of the video. This is the animation tool, which you can. It's based on timeline idea, and you can add your properties of the components. You can also edit the curve, timeline curve. You can also edit the movement path. And also you can add the property of your own components, which gives you a really vast choice in the timeline tool. Okay, and this is advanced UI editing. You can import data, external data, with a plugin, and which matches your properties in the components. And then you can edit the main panel UI to choose which label or image matches which property. Then you edit the prefab for sub items in the UI, in the main UI, like icon of the hero or the hero itself. And you use the UI layout component to control their distance, their relative positions. And in the runtime, it will dynamically load the data and create all your heroes. You can switch from them and see the properties. So it's an advanced UI editing sample. It gives you a brief idea about how Cocos creator create games. And blockchain games also loves creator. I have pitched the Tron accelerator winners, and there is in the first page there is 3 Cocos creator games. And how we do cross-platform support. It begins with WeChat. It's from our version v1.8. It was last year, the beginning of last year, in March. Just a whole year begin with the last 2017. So it has been 2 years. And 1.9 we supported QQ. 1.9 we supported also Facebook Instant Games and Google Play Instant Games. And Oppo Vivo for its brand of smartphone. Oppo Vivo in 2.0.5. In 2.0.7 it's Huawei and Baidu recently. This is I think you have seen this market share for WeChat mini game and the Facebook Instant Game. And beneath the technical architecture of our cross-platform technique is like this. Briefly, here is HTML5 base, which means all the browsers, web views, and Facebook Instant Games, and it has all the web standard technology, like Doom support and WebGL, Canvas APIs. Besides, it's our Creator Native, which support us to publish to iOS and Android, Windows, and Mac. Okay, so this is based on JavaScript bindings. We bind a set of OpenGL APIs to WebGL, and we bind also some other device APIs to simulate a browser-like environment, so that our engine can seamlessly run on both platforms. And what's interesting is that WebGL runtime means WeChat minigame, Huawei, Oppo, Vivo are all like our Create Native. They have the same philosophy of architecture. They create JavaScript bindings to support WebGL APIs and to support some of the Doom APIs, so that games can seamlessly run on it. Although it also requires some adaptations on the engine side, but it's not a big work. Okay, this is technically review of the engine architecture. On top of the engine, games nearly need to do nothing. You don't need to do any modifications for different platforms. Okay, this is the main part of my talk. WeChat mini game, how it lead the trend of instant games. First of all, I will show you how it looks like. So this is I just scroll the view to have played games list of my WeChat, and then I opened this game. Then I quit the game, and I saw a friend just send me another game, and I click it, enter the game. There's no other steps. And this game I never played before. It just runs smoothly. Okay. Some data about WeChat mini game. This is announced this January, so it's recent data. On the platform, there is 100,000 devs, 400 million monthly MAU, 7,000 games. That's because they have removed a lot of copycat games. What's very interesting is the last two one. The adult users adult users have 94% share on this platform, and the 63 light users, which means users who haven't played games and users who rarely play games. Okay, and the best games have extraordinary D1, D7, D30 stays. This two number means that with IAP, in-app chess, there is 10 games who have earned 10 million monthly. With ads, there are 11 games who has earned 10 million monthly. And with that success, a lot of followers have come up, which include the smartphone vendors, Mi, Huawei, Oppo, Vivo, and social apps like Facebook Messengers, which is later than WeChat minigame, and also QQ, TikTok. So what's the killer advantage of this instant platforms? First of all, I think they introduce non-gamers to game industry to play games. That's very, it's like we, but we haven't been so successful on introducing low gamers. It's really a massive change in China. What's just happening now. And instant conversion, higher conversion rate, it has never been so quick. It has also a flexible representation. It can be integrated into the app and to be put anywhere in the messages, in your game list, or in the feed flows. It has also a flexible technical setup. You can really integrate anything, any library into the runtime, and I will introduce that later. The fourth one is monetize the traffic for host system and apps. Lastly, lower ads buying price because ads are fundamentally changing in these platforms. I will show you later. Here is the detailed characteristic. Instant play. You click the button in your game list and you enter the game. You don't need to install it. Visual spread. You can send your game to your friend or to a group. You can instantly begin a game with them, with your friend, in a combat game or a mobile game. Decentralized. In this kind of platforms, it can be integrated into anywhere. And this is an example of Oppo system. In Oppo system, it will be integrated into the browser search, the default browser, and into their store, into the desktop icons. You can save your mini game as an icon in your system. And -1 screen. In -1 screen, sometimes it will suggest some minigame, and if you search in the -1 screen, it also will pop up the minigame if there is one. Global search. Okay, so it's really everywhere. It can be integrated in many forms. Advertising, that has been changed a lot. In traditional way, you need to click the advertisement button, and the advertisement pop up. You click to download, and then install. After install, you can play. But in instant game platforms, when you click the advertisement, it will directly pop up the game. You don't need to wait anything. Just like 10-second or 20-second loading time. So it's very light. The light gamer, first of all, the gamers are light gamers and non-gamers. They play in fragment time, very short stay. And light gameplay, short lifetime, that means it's like hyper-casual games. A game you can play for like 1 week and then you forget it forever. You start with a new one. That happens a lot in WeChat mini game and other social apps. Okay. That happened before in video industry. We start with buy a disc and then we download and then we watch online. With Netflix, you don't need anything to watch a new series. In game, we start with buy a disc or card too and download, and then now we have instant game platforms and cloud gaming platforms. Okay. Stadia is a really good example for me. What have we done for instant games? First of all, we can publish to all these instant game platforms. We have a high rate market share. We have a light workflow, rapid iteration, modular design for small package. That means everything you need, you can include in your package. Well, the modules that you don't need to include them, and your package will become smaller. Okay, and provide runtimes for instant platforms. That's another service. We sell our runtime technologies as a technical solution to the mobile systems and apps. Like Oppo, Huawei, Vivo are all using our runtime, and Samsung has started a collaboration with us too. From technical view, what's the fundamental opportunity for blockchain games? Let's start with looking at the common points between all these platforms, instant platforms. They are hosting in an existing ecosystem. It's a web-like environment, and WebGL as backend rendering API. It's all using JavaScript and provide more platform abilities. It's not like the web. It often provides you more. Like WeChat game, you can do more powerful video playing in the WeChat mini game. You can also do payment, WeChat payment, and WeChat sharing directly in the platform. You don't need to embed any SDK to do that. You just call the APIs. How do they do that? Actually, it all starts from the system. In the system, we have OpenGL and the system APIs, which can be transformed to WebGL APIs with JavaScript boundings. I won't explain in detail how bounding is, but if you are interested, you can talk to me. And it will simulate the DOM element. Network, storage are all provided by system APIs, device abilities, but host app can also provide IP ads ability, user and social abilities. What's more interesting is that you can also integrate blockchain abilities into the runtime. There is no runtime doing that now currently, but maybe you can do it by yourself and integrate into some of your own ecosystem. That's a big imagination for anything. Upon that, it's a game engine with adaptation. And lastly, your game. The game with calling these APIs, they can directly use blockchain abilities. You don't need to install a plugin in Chrome. You just integrate the blockchain ability into your runtime. Then it can be called directly by the game developers. So that's what I can provide as idea in this blockchain event. You can connect with vast users. You can connect with specific users because you can collaborate with specific apps in a vertical area. And you can also build in blockchain payment, blockchain framework into your runtime. Then that's a big story to tell, I think. So, a conclusion, welcome to use Course Creator for instant platforms. And instant platforms are having a huge success in China, which leads to many followers. Games are changing. We can imagine the future. And I'm thinking about the last question. Not a question, but I'm thinking about the talk from previous sharers. They are talking about key elements for the blockchain games to rise. I think they are talking about the first one is timing. The second one is killer games, and I think the second one is the third one is accessibility. What I'm talking about in the whole talk is accessibility. We can imagine more powerful accessibility for our games. That's my talk. Thank you.
Thank you very much.